Let's talk about training frequency. All right, so this is a little counterintuitive, and the first time I heard it, I had to think about it. But the weaker a muscle is, the more frequently you can train it. Basically, if we think about if we either have a lagging muscle group or if we have a muscle group that's been damaged, it's been injured, and we're trying to bring it back up to speed, it can actually handle more volume, partly because we're not very efficient at recruiting the muscle fibers that are in that muscle. So the motor units that are in the muscle. So if you've got anytime you're looking at post rehab, like someone is they've been through rehab and they're good and they're trying to bring something back up so they can get back to whatever they're doing, there's a good chance they can train whatever the muscle group is 2 to 3 times a week and sometimes even more. So when I've had athletes who had any kind of shoulder issue, guys that had back issues, whatever it was, initially in the early stages of that, we can actually hit that muscle group with a lot of frequency. The VMO is a good one for this too. And then as things balance out, you can taper that off. Think about it this way. If you're reasonably good at a deadlift, how frequently can you deadlift realistically? If you're good at a deadlift, and by good at a deadlift, I mean if you're a male and you can do about twice your body weight or you're approaching that, you're probably only doing that once a week unless there's exceptions if you're doing different rep ranges. But for the most part, if you're pulling, 5 reps or less, you're probably only doing that one time a week on that exercise. I'm not talking about assistance work. All right, so I don't have to get complicated with this one. Just keep in mind if you're bringing up a muscle group that's lagging behind, or if you're recovering from some kind of an injury, once you're ready to train again, in the initial stages of your post rehab, that muscle will be able to handle more volume. You can train it with more frequency. How you approach that is going to depend on your individual situation, and I'm not going to try and address that here because this is the internet and I don't know what you're dealing with. But if you post a question, I will try to answer it. All right, thanks for watching. Little things that up.